Howdy, welcome back to the shop. Well, I guess today we're going to do a little bit of finish work on our drawers. I'm going to go ahead and sand the ends of them and then run them through the router. And we'll get a rabbit cut in the bottom of them, unless you live over across the pond, and then it's called a rebate. I don't know why it's called a rebate. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to cut rabbits in the bottom of them after we get the corners sanded real pretty. And we'll go from there. Oh, make sure while you're doing this that you wear your safety glasses. Wear your safety glasses. You're liable to cut your scrotum off or something. And wear ear protection. This thing's loud. Okay, here we are. We're sitting at the table saw router table set up. Now, if you paid attention to me while I was sanding these, you'll notice, of course, my belt sander, the belt's traveling down. And the first thing I did was stuck it into the belt sander on the long sides. I did it on the long sides, went to top and bottom, flipped around, did long sides, and then I did the short sides. The reason for that is if there was any grain tear out when I did these long sides, there's a good chance that I could have cleaned that up when I did the short side. If I did the short side first, there'd been a better chance that I wouldn't have been able to clean it up. And as I was sanding the short side, I favored sanding the top edge. That way, again, there's less likely to, or at least seems to be, less likely of grain tear out, and there's just less fuzz left over. And then when I went through and knocked the corners off of it, I put weight here on the corner and swung this around like so. That way I could feel it bearing on the plate, table, whatever you want to call it, foot. I could feel it bearing on the belt sander. Make sure that I was reasonably square on this radius. If I was really concerned about it being square or pretty and true, I would go back over it with a round over bit, but I'm not that worried about it. Just knocking them off so that there's not a sharp corner is good enough. Here we are back at the router table. Now you'll notice I had to, seems like blasphemy to me, but I did it anyway. I marked the direction of rotation of the bit. Sometimes I get turned around backwards on things, so it's better for me to just mark that rotation right from the start. That way I don't get screwed up on it. You'll also see me I will look and double check because I flattened one side of these. Well, not flattened them, but I made the edges the same level. And I will take and check these. Like that one's not really got a high spot. It's a little bit rocky, but it's not bad. Let's look at that. That one's flat too. Anyway, there's some of these that will have where I had to take quite a bit off to knock the snot off the bottoms of the drawers there. There will be a couple of these where I may have to set them over here and hit them with a hand plane to bring down the center of the drawer. You know, I don't care if it's off by a 32nd or a 16th. I'm worried about an eighth. Again, I can't stress it enough to wear ear protection. This sucker is loud. I'm not letting my little boy in the shop while I'm doing this. This is loud. Another thing, don't get your booger hooks over here by the bit. Keep your booger hooks away from it. You know, these don't grow back. You'll see me as the shavings and cuttings kind of load up here, I'll take my blowgun and blow them out of the way. I'm not even going to fool with a chip brush. This might be the only time I ever say to use a blowgun to blow it away. But don't even fool with a chip brush. You know, use air. You can't, it's not going to hurt if air gets into that. So anyway, enough blabbermouthing. We'll set up a little bit different maybe, turn on some more light, and get going. Here we are, we got them all routed, got a rebate in the bottom of them. Rabbit, rebate, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just taking a chisel and kind of cleaning up the round corners and building square corners out of round ones. Now I know they make corner chisels and all kinds of things that do this faster, easier, better, but you know, a lumberyard chisel and a homemade mallet do just as well. So all I'm really doing here, and I do have the router out, it's put up, but all I'm really doing here is I'm laying the face of my chisel, the flat spot of my chisel, up again the rabbit, and then I'm just walking it in, giving it a little tappity tap tap tap. Poof, it just comes right out. This is not really hard. If I had a 2-inch wide wood chisel, I would be using it. The wider your chisel, the easier this is. But you don't have to be terrible precise on this, because you know, really, who's going to see the bottom of the drawer? So I think that's going to wrap up today's project. still got 6 drawers left to go. I think tomorrow we'll probably cut the drawers out, or cut the bottoms out for the drawers and maybe get them glued in there. We're making progress. The end is in sight. I'm happy that the end is in sight. This has been a long, drawn-out ordeal. Of course, we've had 1,000 other things go wrong and 1,000 other jobs come in while we was doing this. So this is kind of spare time, rainy day stuff. So I got to keep that in mind. So anyway, we'll catch you when we see you, and y'all drive safe.
What's here?